market run. Take a market run. Streets are dry, I'm trying to eat, so I need every crumb. Gotta keep my wits about me.
So people want to know what the company Tesla is doing as far as its plans and its stock price for 2026, 27, and just looking forward. What most people don't realize is it won't stay a car company. It's going to turn into a solar power company. It's going to turn into a power supply that basically supplies power to the government. And that's not even the biggest plans for 2026, 27, and moving forward. But if you look up the Gigapack rollout, then you'll see what's going on with that. That's a $3 trillion market Tesla is about to tap into. And next is going to be the Cybercab. Cybercab is scheduled for April 2026. This is probably going to be the biggest change coming up, because with the Cybercab being implemented, we're going to see a disruption in Uber, Lyft, and rideshare in general. The cost per mile to travel will go down to about 20 cents because there's no human driver. And it'll basically make people use rideshare instead of using public transportation like a bus or anything. It'll be so cheap. You can literally go to the store for $1 or less. Delivery will be cheaper if you order Uber Eats or DoorDash. Like, so many things will be disrupted because of this technology. And the difference between Cybercab and Waymo is Waymo, as you can see with the blackout the other day, Waymo can get shut down if the power is out in the city, but that's not the biggest difference. The biggest difference is Waymo uses LiDAR technology, which is about $200,000 per car, because they buy a Jaguar and then they strap it with LiDAR cameras, which are extremely expensive and bulky, and overall just weird looking, and it makes the car cost about $200,000, which would make it extremely hard for Google to scale Waymo to a point where you see them everywhere in every city. On the other hand, Tesla will be letting out the Cybercabs, and those will cost about $30,000 to $40,000, and it won't just be those. It'll be regular Model Ys, it'll be the regular Model 3 or Model S or whatever Tesla. You could just make it full self-driving and have it go out and do a Robotaxi for you, which is basically going to make it be the Airbnb for cars, because anybody can just buy one and put it out on the road and have it go make money while they sleep, work, play video games, or do whatever. And it'll just ride around giving people rides and giving you money. That is going to change the game, because then you'll have people who don't drive, people who need extra money, investors. People will just be buying these cars just to put them on the road as a business. Then you will have regular people buying these cars to make extra money and just to drive them around. So what we're about to see is a massive scaling of self-driving cars. Now, a lot of people have reservations about the safety of self-driving cars, but when you look at the numbers, the fear doesn't really make sense, because today, as self-driving cars continue to keep improving, they're already orders of magnitude safer than regular people who like to be distracted on Instagram, looking at their kids, arguing with their spouse, tired, sleepy, intoxicated, any type of distractions. Humans should not be driving 3,000-pound vehicles. I know everyone loves their freedom, but has anyone ever been in the back of an Uber or a Lyft and just thought to themselves, I want to take over, I want to drive. I would love to be driving right now instead of doing anything else on my phone, on my computer, getting rest. I've never heard anyone say that. I've never felt that way myself. I never wanted to just take over for somebody else. I would rather be driven around by an invisible chauffeur. And I think it'll catch on quick. And if it gets big enough, it'll become law to regulate that people are just not safe enough to drive. I'm not going to say they'll lose their freedom to drive, but it will be heavily incentivized for autonomous driving will be heavily incentivized. We're about to see something that we've never seen before, and the roads are going to look very different. Traffic will decrease exponentially. So back to the original subject, the stock price and what the company is doing. I think it's very, very, very smart to start looking at the stock and just doing your own homework. I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I'm just enlightening you on what you should be looking at if you care about investing in exponential growth. So yes, I'm very bullish on Tesla. I have no opinions on politics or Elon Musk himself as a person. I'm talking about engineering, innovation, and investing strictly. And XAI, which is another company, will be implemented. It's already being implemented into Tesla cars, which is a big deal. So the cars are just getting smarter. They're about to start developing their own chips, and then they're doing what's called casting to make the cars make the cyber cabs. It's the same way that companies make Hot Wheels. They just injection mold metal into a mold, and then they pop out the car. And what that's going to do is allow them to make a new cyber cab every 6 seconds. So scaling and production is going to go through the roof. Human labor is going to be less necessary. They're going to use Optimus in all forms around all Tesla companies and associated companies. So it's just very bullish. The CEO was just approved for $1 trillion package to make this work. And I don't really see too many things that would change the direction or trajectory of what we're seeing happening. So yes, but the biggest thing that is imminent is self-driving. And not only for yourself and just to go to work, but just for ride sharing in general. We're going to see whole new business models based off of cyber cabs, robotaxis, self-driving cars. The profits will be lower, but the time and human labor will be almost removed. So if you make, say, half or 90% less than you would make if you were doing ride share on a single ride, will it matter if you can be doing some other type of business at work or just not using your time at all, and you can run it 24/7 outside of charging? Teslas already don't need much maintenance. You just have to get tires and wiper fluid for the most part. Autonomous driving will heavily rely on regenerative braking, so you won't really run through brakes at all. It's just a golden opportunity. So when people say AI is coming to take our jobs, I don't look at it that way. I think it's coming to make us more productive and give us more free time to do other things that we really want to do, and less on just doing what we think we have to do to pay the bills. So let me know what you think in the comments. So the reason Tesla is able to get away with not using LiDAR cameras the way Waymo does is because they use LiDAR for the pre-training, which is essentially teaching the computer and teaching the car how to navigate the world with LiDAR sensors that are infinitely more powerful than just cameras. But instead of putting that LiDAR on all the cars, which would increase the cost significantly, they train the cars with the LiDAR and just let the cars use the cameras. So that way the cars can move around with that training data and with that knowledge and just react to the world as if they had LiDAR because they were extensively trained on it. It's a genius cost-saving technique that I thought I had to add in, and I forgot to put it in earlier.
The stock block.